Hello everyone. In today's session, let's try to understand about the Carazole, how to implement the Carazole in your Bootstrap. So Carazole means this one, the images which are going to slide. So Carazole in Bootstrap. If I just go to this Carazole component, you will be able to see this Carazole form. This is your Carazole. So where your images will slide. So to get like this Carazole effect, we have to integrate their CSS file and JavaScript file as well. Okay. So how to do that? For that, we have to go to their official documentation. Go to the CDN links. Copy this URL and link with your HTML document. For example, I am creating here a file called carazole.html. So add link tag. href attribute. Relation should be style sheet. Just paste that link. And in the same way, you have to connect their JavaScript file as well, because Carazole required some kind of functionality. So sliding the images for this, we require that JavaScript code. So they have written already code. We have to just connect, or we can say integrate their JS file with our HTML document. So already they have given the path of their JS file. Now, if you want to integrate your JS with your HTML, we have to use script tag, src attribute, and paste that link. So what we have done, we have linked their CSS file with our HTML document, and we have connected their JavaScript file with our HTML document. Now in this file, JavaScript file, they have written some JavaScript functions. They have written some code. And in the same way, in CSS file, they have written all the code related to your styles. Now, if you want to create a Carazole, first you have to create one Carazole container. You have to create one Carazole container. And to create that Carazole container, just you have to take one div and you have to add a class called Carazole. So inside your body, you have to take a div. Inside this div, you want to make like a Carazole container. So for that, you have to add class and Carazole. You have to add a class called Carazole. Then this Carazole container contains one more sub container called Carazole inner. It contains one more sub container called Carazole inner. So we have to add this sub container as well. So how to add sub container? Again, inside this Carazole, we have to take one more div. And for this, we have to add a class called Carazole inner. Carazole hyphen inner. Now inside this Carazole inner, now we can create Carazole items which are going to slides. So we can create something called Carazole items like this. So at a time on the screen, we can show any one Carazole item. So after a few seconds, your Carazole item is going to slide. So like this, we can create any number of Carazole items. How to create carousel item? Again, inside this carousel inner, we have to take a div, and for that we have to add a class called carousel item. Carousel item. So like this, you can create any number of carousel items inside your carousel inner div. So right now I am creating 4. So every carousel item will be shown on the screen at a time. So we cannot show all the carousel item at the same time. Any one carousel item we can show at a time. So here if you see, if I just go to this carousel, here you are seeing the first slide. This is carousel item 1. This is second slide. This is carousel item 2. This is carousel item 3. Like this, we can create carousel items. So first carousel, then carousel inner, and in that we can create carousel item 1, item 2, item 3 like this. Now inside this carousel item, whatever UI you want to create, you can create it. Let's assume that I just want to show image, then I can show image. Image src equals to something. Width, I will give 100%. And here height, for every image, I will add here 400. Like this, let's assume that in all the carousel item, I want to show the image. One more image, one more image. Now we have to grab some image address from internet. So I will just say here HTML or boot HTML images. Just we have to grab some image URLs. So right click, copy image link and paste here. In the same way, I have to get one more image. Right click, copy image link, paste here. Get one more image. Copy image link, go back and paste here. Right click, copy image link, and we can paste here. Now save it. Now, if I just load this particular document in my browser, you won't see anything on the screen. Now see here, you are not able to see anything. So what you have to do is, if you want to show any carousel item, or if you want to see that carousel, out of all this carousel item, you have to make one carousel as a active. You have to make it as a active. So from where you want to start your carousel effect, that carousel item you have to make active. So how to make active means, just we have to add a class called active here. So if I go back here, let's assume that first carousel item only I want to make active. So just add a class called active here and save it. Now if I go back and refresh, now we got here carousel. Now the size is very big. So if you want, you can reduce the width. So I will just add here width 75. So if I save it and go back here and refresh, it will look like. Then we can use margin top 5 and MX auto. If I save it, We got like this. Now this is our carousel. So first item we are showing as active. So if you want to show third item as active, so here third item we can show as active. And for from first I will remove that word active. I'm just removing this class called active. So if you save it, you got this one. So whichever carousel item you want to make it as active, you can make it. Now, if you want that sliding part, then simply you have to add a class called slide. Now, your items will be slide. Now here I want to add some controls like this. If you see here this controls if you want to add this arrows, then for that you have to create one buttons. Outside your carousel inner, you have to create this button. Okay. So two buttons we have to create. This arrow buttons. So to create this arrow buttons, again, your Bootstrap is giving some predefined classes. Just we have to use those predefined classes. You will get those icons. Like here, carousel control previous icon, and you have carousel control next icon. Next icon. So here you got previous and next. Previous and next. This is the indicator. Okay. So first, let's see. Here we have made it active. Let me keep it as the first one as active. The first part, you can make this as a active. So that first image will be active now. Let me copy this and let me try to paste here once. Okay. Now what we want this slide should move right automatically. So let me just remove this both the script tag from here. Save it. Now, if you want to move the slides automatically, now what we can do is here in our carousel level, we can add here one attribute called data hyphen bs hyphen ride, and its value should be carousel. So if I save it, if I come back here, if I refresh, let's see our carousel will slide or not. Now it is sliding. So this is how we can just implement carousel inside your Bootstrap. So right now, without any kind of buttons we have added. So the pattern is you have to create one carousel container first. Then you have to create carousel inner. Then you have to add carousel items. You have to add here carousel item. So this is your carousel container, carousel inner, and all these are carousel items. Very, very easy. Just you have to remember this class names: carousel item, carousel item, carousel item. And automatically, if you want to start that sliding, then we have to add an attribute called data hyphen bs hyphen ride equals to carousel equals to carousel. Now you will get here carousel effect. It will start sliding. So after every 3 seconds, it is going to slide. Now, if you want to change the time, that is also possible. Okay. So for example, let's assume that you want to change your items after every 1 second. Then here we can add a attribute called data hyphen bs hyphen interval. So after how much time you want to change, that number you can mention here in milliseconds. So if I say 1000 millisecond, that is equals to 1 second. If I refresh, for every 1 second, it will change. So if I increase the time to 2 seconds, then it will change after every 2 seconds. And if I keep my cursor on my carousel, it will not change. See, the moment I remove my cursor, it will start changing. But if I keep my cursor on my carousel, it will not change. It will not change. So all these inbuilt functionalities are developed by Bootstrap using JavaScript. That is the reason we have to add that script tag. If you don't add that script tag, your carousel will not work. If you want, you can add this attribute, that is data hyphen bs hyphen interval, on your item level also. Item level means, let's assume that I want my first item should get changed after 1 second. Maybe I want my second item should get changed after 3 seconds. First, third item should get changed maybe after 500 milliseconds. Fourth item I want it should be changed after 4 seconds. Now see, second one is taking little time, but third one was not taking time only. See, just third one will not take time. It will, because you have given just 500 milliseconds. So on item level also, you can just add that timer. Like after how many seconds you want to change that slide. Understood, guys? How to implement carousel at very basic level. Only just you have to remember these classes. Even if you forget these class names, no issues. Just go to the documentation and check the class names. So if you feel that you are forgetting class names, no need to panic and no need to remember class names also, guys. Because version to version again, things will change. So always you have to keep referring your documentation and using it. Once you started using something multiple times, you will be able to remember that. But even if you forget, just you have to come back to the documentation, you have to check the class name and you have to use it. Because there are so many components in Bootstrap. Now you cannot remember all these things. That is the reason no one recommends to remember all these things. Whenever you want to use any component, just go to the documentation, spend some time on that documentation, check what classes they are giving, how it is providing the styles, which kind of functionality it is providing, then try to use it. Now, if you want to add these indicators, so what is the first thing you have to do? First, you have to take one button. To that button, we have to add a class called carousel hyphen control hyphen previous. So what we have to do is outside this carousel inner, we can take one button. We can take one button, and to this button, we have to add a class called carousel one minute, guys. नहीं नहीं उधर देख हाँ yeah so what class we have to add? We have to add here carousel hyphen control hyphen previous. We have to go back here and check it. Carousel hyphen control hyphen previous. Like this, I want one more button. I want one more button, and this button name should be same, carousel hyphen control hyphen next. Inside this button, we have to add that arrow kind of icon. So for that, we can use span, and to this span, we can add a class called carousel hyphen control hyphen previous hyphen icon. Same name almost, same class name. Just we have to add one extra word, that is hyphen icon. Now here also same thing. Copy this, paste here, and just add here icon next. Icon next. Now save it. Now if you go back here, let's see whether we are getting these icons or not. If I refresh, you got this icon here. But here we did not get. Let's see if we have done any spelling mistake. Yes, here it should be previous, next, okay. Here it should be next icon. Now if you go back here, you should get this icon here. See, here we got icon, here we got icon. Now if I click on this icon, I want this image should change. If I click on this icon, I want this image should change. Here if I click, next image should come. Here if I click, previous image should come. So to get that functionality, first we have to assign one ID to our carousel container, like my carousel. Now this ID we have to bind with our button. This ID we have to bind with our button. So to bind that ID with our button, we have to use an attribute called data-bs-target equals to, we have to start with hash, then our ID name. So which carousel you are going to control based on this button, that carousel ID you have to add here. Same attribute we have to add to this button as well. Data-bs-target, then your ID name. And then we have to add one more, that is data-bs-slide. So I want to slide it to previous. And here also data-bs-slide to the next. Now if you go back here, if you refresh, you got it. If I click on this, I got next. Again, if I'm clicking, I got next. If I click on this, previous, previous, previous. If I keep cursor, it will not move, but if I click on this, it will move. Here, move. If I click, the moment I am clicking, it is moving. If I click here, it will move in the previous direction. So what we have to do here is, first we have to create one simple button. To that button, we have to add class carousel control next. And we have to add two attributes. Data-bs-target. To that, we have to assign the ID, and then data-bs-slide, and whose value should be next. And for previous, same attributes, same class, only data-bs-slide value will change to previous. And if you want that arrow symbol, arrow icon, then you can take span, and to that span you can assign this class. So in Bootstrap, you have to just remember this class. If you remember this class, you will be able to basically you will be able to show this all these things. So here we are able to implement the carousel. Now, if you want, you can show some content on your carousel item as well. If you want to show some content on your carousel item, that is also possible. Okay. So inside this carousel item, after this image, I want to show some H2. I will say HTML image. So to show this H2 again, I will take one div. In that, I want to show that H2. Maybe some paragraph, lorem 50. So if I go back here, refresh. Now here we got it, right? Let me just show you this one. This content we can show. So to show this content inside our carousel item, we have to take div and we have to add it. But for this div, what we have to do is we have to add a class called carousel caption. So to this div, add a class called carousel caption. Now if you save it and refresh, now here you got that content. So here let's try to add some images. Dark theme, wallpaper, something. So let's suppose I want to show this image. Copy image link. We will add this image here. This is how we got it. Like this, we can select some images and we can add it. Copy image link. Maybe this second image I want to add here. Here also I will add 2 seconds. Image 1, image 2, image 3, and image 4. Now for image 2 also, if you want to add any caption, just what you have to do is go to the carousel item 2. This was item 1. In this item 2, after this image, take one div, add whatever you want. I'm adding H1, something like nature in dark theme. Some paragraph, lorem 30. And here I will add class lead. So if you say lead, you will get something like this. Now see here, this content is coming downside. It means for this, we have to add a class called carousel caption. Save it, go back here, refresh it. Now we got here. nature dark in. Here we got HTML image. So here also we can take that in the H1 form. If you want to add some styles, you can add here some styles as well. Color, I can just say corn silk. Now if I save it, go back here, refresh, you got here corn silk. So dark theme, HTML, and here CSS. So like this, you can add any number of images in your carousel. So what are the classes we have just used when it comes to carousel? Carousel class we have used. Carousel inner we have used. Carousel item we have used. Active class we have used. Then we have used carousel. What is that, guys? For buttons, what is the class we have used? Carousel. Tell me, what is the class we have used for your button?
Previous icon, next
Yeah, carousel control hyphen previous, then carousel hyphen control hyphen next. And for icons, again, almost same classes we have used, just by adding here icon. Here also icon. Apart from that, carousel caption we have used. These are the class names we have used. And slide also. Slide also we have used. And apart from that, we have used some attributes, right? So data hyphen bs hyphen target, data hyphen bs hyphen interval, data hyphen bs hyphen. What else, guys? Target, interval, inca. What else we have used? Target we have used, interval we have used. Any other? Okay, let me just check if we have used anything we are missing. Data hyphen bs hyphen interval we have used. And then target we have used. I think slide we have used. Data hyphen bs hyphen something. Yeah, data hyphen bs hyphen slide. So these are the three attributes we have used. Now you have carousel fade effect also. So right now how your carousels are, it is just sliding, right? If you want, you can implement carousel fade effect as well. So for that, what you have to do is simply on the carousel level, you have to add one more carousel hyphen fade. You have to just add carousel hyphen fade. The moment you add it, and if you refresh, now it will fade. It will not slide, it will fade. So here you can add carousel fade as well. These are the classes what you have used. So the thing is, you have to remember this class. You have to remember the pattern in which they are using, and how you will be able to remember all those things you will be able to get from documentation only. In documentation, how they have given, we have to do in that way only. So do you need to buttify all these classes? Do you need to mug up all these classes? Answer is no. No need to mug up. Just use it whenever in your project or whenever you are practicing, start using these classes. So when you start using these classes, you will be able to remember. You will be able to remember. Suppose suddenly you forgot or you are not able to remember, then no need to panic. Just you have to go to the documentation and you have to check. And same answer you have to give in your interviews also. Suppose he is asking about any class, if you remember, just tell him that answer. And in case if you are not able to remember, then tell him that right now I am not able to remember. But same situation if I face while working, then I will just go to the documentation and I will check exactly what is the class name. So always I prefer referring the documentations instead of remembering the classes names, because version to version again class names might change, attribute name might change, attribute value might change. So it can happen. So it's not possible to remember all the version of uh, all the components of all the versions. That is the reason always we have to refer documentation for Bootstrap. Not only for Bootstrap, similar to Bootstrap, you have a lot of other frameworks. Like you have Chakra UI, you have Material Design, right? You have Material Bootstrap. Like this, we have so many frameworks in the market. So it's not possible for us to remember all those frameworks or libraries classes. That is the reason we just check always our documentation. We always check our documentation. This toast messages. Do you know about this toast messages, guys? Okay. So we are going to implement such toast messages in our project. So this is about your carousel effect. Next, what you have to understand is model. So model is nothing but something like this. If you click on this button, one model will come out. So like this, we have different ways to pop up this model like this. And if I again scroll down, this is the model. So whenever this model appears, automatically your background became dull. See here. Exactly in the center. So like this model, how to implement. Again, to implement all these models, we have to just know their class names. We have to just know their class names. If you know their class names, you will be able to implement this model. So like this, we have to understand about this model classes. We have to understand about the table classes. What else is remaining in the Bootstrap? We have to check that part. And how many of you done your home page creation? Last time only 2-3 members shown the output. What about remaining guys? Have you guys completed that home page? And that GitHub task as well? So how you have done, Anil? If you show me, then I can help you.
Uh, Hello, sir. I think remaining part of the
Mhm.
homepage for the Flipkart I have completed. Only for the one section I'm unable to complete because there I think he extended merging the row and the column. That part only is pending.
Okay,
Remaining I have completed.
nice. Yeah, what about remaining guys? Okay, any day I can check, okay, randomly to share your screen. You have to share your screen, okay? Yeah, Anil, if you want to share your screen, you can share and you can show exactly what issue you are facing. Do you want to share screen?
You are asking to me,
Yes, Anil. I'm
Anil.
asking.
Okay.
So open your code, first explain how you have done, then show me the what is the problem.
Yes, sir. Sir, allow to me display my screens.
Yeah, you can now. Okay, now you guys can implement Carousel also, guys. Okay, just whatever classes I have taught, just use those classes and implement that Carousel effect as well. It is saying that you cannot read properties of name. Go to details.jsx. Anil, are you showing VS Code or browser? No, we cannot see your VS Code in case if you are showing. Can you unmute yourself? Anil.
Yes, sir. Now my audible, sir.
Yeah, now you're audible. Uh,
Okay, now I'm sharing my entire screen here.
yeah.
VS Code. Here I'm binding that props here, and
So here it is saying that user data dot name is undefined. So
yes, sir.
you're destructuring that user data. How you are passing that props?
Yes, sir. I'm showing. Here using child component as a details component here, and
Okay. In that user data, are you getting the name property? Do you have name property in that data?
sorry, I could not hear you, sir.
On the line number, just scroll down once. Yes, on line number 30, right? You are passing user data
Yes,
as the props, right? So
right.
in that data, you have here that value as a data, right? So that might be object
Yes.
format. In that, do you have name property?
Yes, whenever you use the Microsoft keyword in search buttons, and there is a having the name properties, right, sir?
I
No,
think
Okay,
you
with
can
that, I'm just
upload data. Can you move the little bit up?
just go.
up or down.
Yeah, line number 12, response dot data.
Yes, I'm using your
No, no, you're setting a line
usernames.
number 12, set data.
Yes.
You're taking only response. I think there is a response dot data.
Dot data.
Acha, okay.
First do console.log and check how what response dot p is
Sir,
print.
I'm getting that value in my browser in console.logs,
Just go and check.
but I'm not right. Yes, sir.
First go to
Save
the
it.
console and check there what you are getting.
Okay, let me hide one.
So whenever you get some data from server, now first check in which pattern you are getting the data. Okay. Then you will be able to understand how to extract the data from there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Just go to your browser and check.
Sir, I'm getting, sir, getting data here. Okay,
Show
let
me.
me share.
You are not able to see.
I'm getting data here 2 times because I'm using 2 times
So now,
console log.
now see what you are getting.
So are you seeing my display?
No. On search.jsx on line number 11, what is the console it is printing?
Oh, in which component? Details component?
Yes, search component.
Source component.
See, it is showing there, right? It is printing one
Yes.
object. In that you have data property. In that data property, actually your data is present. So how you have to pass the props? You have to pass the basically how you are setting the data in your state. Directly you are passing RESP, right? Response you are passing. You should not pass it.
Right.
You have to pass response dot data in your state.
Okay, sir.
So go to your code once. Go to the search component. Go on the top, on the line number 12. Now there, now
I
you should
did it, but still I'm not getting that.
now try response.data. Share entire screen, man. Don't share, like you will face issues or else while sharing.
Okay, sir, I'm actually, okay. Entire screen.
Okay. Now search something there. Now click on search. Now expand that object in the console. In details, you are, yeah, expand that. Yeah, in that, do you have name property?
Yes, here is a name property.
What is the value? Microsoft, right? Yeah,
Yes.
now go to the details. Details.jsx. Go to details.jsx. Now uncomment it. Now check that.
Still I'm getting there. Okay, sir, I'll be look at this
Yeah, I
and I'll
think
be
you
try to
can go
fix
to
it.
line number 7. Yeah, got the issue. You pass the empty string like the object. You are not initializing the object. In the search
So
bar,
which
line
number
number
lines?
7. Search in the line number 7, pass the empty string, empty object. Search line number 7. You define the state. There you pass the empty state. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
That is not the problem. He's getting problem.
No, not a string object. Curly braces only. I think.
Okay,
That
okay.
is not that is not the issue.
Okay.
You share the code. I will check that. Okay. So
Okay,
you're
sir, sure, sir.
uh, yeah, guys. Remaining guys also finish it fast. Okay, tomorrow or maybe in 2 days, I will finish this bootstrap part. Then we will start with the project development. And guys, this Saturday we will have session. Okay. So this Saturday we will have session. So make sure you guys are planning your Saturday. So we will have session at the same time. Yeah, that's all guys from my end. If you want to ask anything, you can ask, or else yeah, you guys can drop.